This piece has been outside. I have not ground a window into it. If anybody is interested in me not grinding a window into any of these or any other specimens, they should contact me immediately, because I can't get any response other than negativity and denial unless I show the interiors of them. So obviously science is kind of more gear orientated towards grants, I believe, than actual new discoveries, possibly. So I guess it depends. This has a very faded crust of whatever the components are. It's very minimal to non-magnetic, yet I can see sparkles, whether they are gemmy and just a tiny traces of metallic showing through. This has a lot of lines, flow lines, whatever the trajectory, whether it was no matter what, there's a lot of these are volcanic, whether they're meteorites or not, they still have volcanic trajectory. This has some conglomerates, some shock impact veins. It has various regmaglyphs. It has a nice flight-orientated path. It has flow lines. I don't have my steel-toe boots on. Do your own OSHA. All right, and then I have some little orange peel. It's getting gouged just from sliding around like that. It gets marred, but fortunately that's just a little bit of paint from this. It'll come off with a brush easily. I'm going to go ahead, if this will pick it up or not, show that it does have glittery gem and metallics. There are several more of these pieces. They might be of the same large one. I don't know, but it definitely has a fused melt, whatever it is composed of. Thank you. One thing I notice a lot of people say in trying to search and discover whether things they have found, purchased, inherited, or stumbled across in browsing is or is not of extraterrestrial origin, or whether it is terrestrial origin. They say, oh, that's an earth rock. Well, technically, and I think that it's important that people know this, it can be an anywhere rock. The components construction of the universe, planets, moons, asteroids, even planets that dissipated into oblivious, many pieces expelled into the surrounding universe trajectories and impacting other planets, which launched in turn. If I drop this, it's going to, a strong enough impact is going to launch this off. Now, this didn't just create itself in space. This basaltic lava type already has gas vesicles in it. It did not get this in space. If a large enough conglomerates are heat, impact, velocity heated to have a fusion on an exterior, even if the fusion after millions of years, potentially has worn off, it is still fused. And it wore off the coloring, but that does not change the components and the forensics of what happened to the various components of the rocks that were re-altered from their original composition by such heat and impact events. And often in flight, they impact other meteorites, and can do that many times and be in flight for millions of years before making their way into the Earth's atmosphere and getting pulled down into Earth, where a lot of them, again, explode very low altitude before impact, and we have where it's very small fusion crust, very small residual airflow lines on the newly exposed breaks. And to say that, oh, a meteorite cannot have gas vesicles is ridiculous, other than just not factual. It's really foolishness. But, you know, most people would not realize that unless seeing and knowing how it works. These have already been formed. Whether or not they are heated enough and what size conglomerates in a meteorite hit, expelling them into space, where they might have other impacts, other melting and cooling episodes, to whether or not the holes will be sealed, or whether the whole entire component will be melted. There are both. They've been documented, breccia and conglomerates, and then full melts. So it is not speculation, and there is no rock, mineral, gem on Earth that is only indigenous to Earth and nowhere else in the billions of other planets, moons, and asteroids. So we don't need to let folklore, mythology, and lack of travel ability and information create junk science, mythological science, science fiction. We're not doing that. We are doing forensics to find what pieces have originated elsewhere in the same makeup, construction, conglomerates, types, and then had events and make their way into a meteorite hit and bring them to our soil to find. Thank you. I know you understand, because you're not dumb or you wouldn't be watching these. Nobody's perfect. We never quit learning.